Story 1. My wife kept taking the same Uber. Then I found out why I never imagined I'd be posting something like this, but here I am, questioning everything I thought I knew about my marriage. I have to get this out, so bear with me. So, I'm married to Laura and I'm Jake. We've been together for 6 years, no kids, just us. We have a comfortable life, or at least that's what I believed until recently. Laura works in marketing, she's a total social butterfly. And I, on the other hand, I'm more of a quiet guy who loves staying in, but I never thought that this contrast would be an issue. At first, everything seemed completely normal. We'd go out sometimes, we'd have our moments of fun, but recently, something started to feel off. I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was happening behind my back. It all started about 6 months ago when I noticed Laura was using Uber a lot more than usual. She always used it when she went out with friends, especially if there was drinking involved. It was expected. But then I started noticing it wasn't just occasional trips. It became a daily thing. At first it seemed normal. She'd leave for work and take Uber instead of the subway. Sometimes she'd ask me to drive her, but that became rare. It was always Uber, and always the same driver. At first I didn't think much of it. I mean, it could be a coincidence, right? But she started talking about him more often. "Oh, my Uber driver, Adam, is so nice," she'd say. "He's always in the area, so it's super convenient." The way she said it made it sound like she really liked this guy, almost like he was just another part of her routine. But then things started to get weird. One night, she came home after a girls' night out, and something just didn't feel right. Her makeup was smudged. Her hair was messy, more than usual. And when she kissed me, I noticed something strange. She smelled like men's cologne, something I don't wear. Now, I'm not a jealous person, but my mind immediately started to race. I casually asked her, "Wow, rough night," I said with a laugh, trying to play it off like I wasn't suspicious. She rolled her eyes and said, "Ugh, you wouldn't believe it. The bar was so packed, some drunk idiot bumped into me and spilled his drink all over my dress. It was so annoying. Seemed believable, but a part of me couldn't let it go. Something was off." Over the next few weeks, I started paying more attention. I checked her Uber trip history, and that's when things started to get even stranger. Her trips were getting longer. She'd tell me she was heading to work, but her history would show she made stops nowhere near her office. And then there were the late nights. She'd come home later than usual, and whenever I asked about it, she always had an excuse. The traffic was insane. We stopped for drinks on the way back. Oh, we decided to go shopping after dinner. Each excuse sounded reasonable, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. So one night, I casually asked, "Hey, why do you always use the same Uber driver? I thought Uber just randomly matches you with drivers." She froze, just for a split second. Then she quickly laughed and said, "Oh no, it's just the way the app works. If you use Uber enough, you get matched with the same people. It's just an algorithm thing." Something about that explanation didn't sit right with me. It felt rehearsed, but I didn't press it any further. I told myself I was overthinking it. After all, I trusted her. I wanted to trust her. But deep down, I knew something wasn't adding up. I felt like an idiot for ignoring the signs, for letting things slide. But then one night, I decided to follow my gut. To be continued.
Continued. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My heart pounded in my chest as I watched my wife, my Laura, wrap her arms around another man. She kissed him. It wasn't just a friendly peck. It was slow, intimate, the kind of kiss that said everything words couldn't. My stomach twisted into knots. I wanted to storm out, to demand answers, to scream. But I didn't. I just sat there, frozen, my world collapsing in slow motion. 100 thoughts raced through my mind. How long had this been going on? Was I the fool, the last one to know? I watched as they got into his car, not an Uber. So much for her algorithm excuse. The pieces started falling into place. I needed proof. Taking a deep breath, I grabbed my phone and snapped a few photos. My hands were shaking, but I managed. Then I started recording. If she tried to deny it later, I'd have undeniable evidence. As they drove off, I sat there for a moment, numb. I should have been furious, but all I felt was emptiness. This was real. This was happening. And now, I had to decide what to do next. Subscribe for more insane cheating stories. You don't want to miss what happens next.
Part 3. Dude. I just sat there staring at my phone like an idiot, watching the video loop over and over. My wife. My freaking wife. Out here playing GTA side missions with her Uber driver while I was at home thinking she was grinding at work. I felt sick, like physically nauseous. My whole body was shaking and my brain was straight up buffering. What the hell do I even do now? Call her? Nah. Pull up and start some drama? Too messy. Instead, I did what any logical betrayed husband would do. I went home, cracked open a beer, and stared at the wall like a dude in a sad movie montage. And then, it hit me. I had to play it cool. Blowing up now? Too easy for her. She'd flip the script, gaslight me, make me feel like the crazy one. Nah, I needed to set the trap. So I waited. That night, when she finally got home, I was already in bed, pretending to be half asleep. She crawled in next to me, acting all normal like she hadn't just been locking lips with some discount Ryan Gosling in the middle of the day. "Hey, babe," she whispered, kissing my cheek. I forced a smile. "Hey, how was work?" She paused, just for a second. Then she laughed softly. "Ugh, you know, the usual. Long meetings, annoying clients. I'm exhausted." Liar. I wanted to throw up right there, but I played my part. "Yeah, you've been working hard. Maybe we should do a little weekend getaway. Just us?" She turned to face me, her expression unreadable in the dim light. "That sounds nice." "I bet it does, Laura. I bet it does." Little did she know I wasn't just planning a trip. I was planning her exposure.